Hello and welcome to the Triune Physics, also known as Physics Bible. I'm your host, IP John, and today we are going to explore one of the most fascinating topics in physics called motion. From the way a ball rolls on the ground to the orbit of planets in our solar system, motion is all around us. So in this video, we'll delve into the basics of motion, including the types of motion, the key concepts, and the real-life examples of motion. Before then, always remember to embrace the sunrise of opportunity each morning. Your journey continues even after the sun has set. Please, if you find this video interesting and educative, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video for the benefit of other students. So, let's get started. Question number 1. Can you identify anything on Earth, in the Earth, and outside this planet that doesn't move or rotate? If you can, then I can categorically and vividly and even affirmatively tell you that that thing is either dead or it is not being influenced by an external force. Alright, let's think about the human body. Can you point out anything that doesn't move in your body as human? Is it the blood, the heart, the circulatory system, or the digestive system, or your joints, or the eyes in their sockets, or the eardrums, the lungs, or is it the cells in your body? A body devoid of movement is dead, which is why you go for workout to stay fit, because if you remain static and acquire weight, that will become problematic. So to stay fit, motion is involved. So it all boils down to a single word called motion. If you ask me to summarize physics in one word, that word will always be motion. If you ask me to summarize life in general in one word, it is called motion. You can summarize that and understand that by using a circular path or a circular object. All the motions are embedded in that. We can use the symbol of a circle to represent all kinds of motion. So remember that mass, the constituent of matter in the form of liquid, solid, gas, and plasma, are all in a constant motion. The only difference is the level of these motions. So, by definition, what is motion? If you are asked, motion is a change in position of an object over time. So, motion is a change in position of object with respect to time. You can also define it by the displacement or by this velocity or acceleration of the object. From that definition, what are the triune components of motion? We want to use that to be able to understand the concept of motion. Number 1, we say the change in position. This change in position is called distance. It is space. It is also called length, which denote the starting point and the ending point. They are constant in motion. Number 2, object. The object might be in the state of solid form or liquid or gas or even plasma. These are the object that occupies space. Then number 3 is time. Time is constant. It is a constant factor in motion. So meaning motion is a combination of the triune fundamental dimensional components and systems of physics, which is length, mass, and time. Let's consider a simple example. A car moving on a straight road. As the car moves, its position changes. That's number 1. And we can describe the motion using terms like distance, displacement, speed, and velocity, which we'll consider in this channel. Please join us for that later. There are several types of motion, each characterized by their unique properties and even characteristics. So what are the types of motion? Now that we have introduced the concept of motion, let's dive deeper into the different types of motion. These include translational motion, rotational motion, oscillatory motion, circular motion. So let's get started on this journey to understand the concept of motion vividly. How can you easily memorize the types of motion? Use the acronym ROT, R-squared-O-T, or L-O-R-C. The R there is squared, so it becomes lock. With this acronym, you can easily recall the 4 types of motion or the 5 types of motion. Number 1, linear or translational motion. What is linear motion or translational motion? It is the most basic type of motion in which an object moves along a straight path without rotating. Please underline the word without rotating. What are the triune components of that definition of linear motion? Number 1, objects. What kind of object? Rigid bodies, which denote mass in solid form. Number 2, movement. What kind of movement is a linear motion? It is a straight line movement. Then number 3, distance, length in space. For movement to occur, origin and destination has to be noted. Examples of linear motion include a car moving along a straight road, a person walking in a straight line, a ball rolling down a hill, a train moving on a straight railway track, an elevator moving up and down in a vertical shaft, an aircraft flying in space. Number 2, circular motion. Circular motion is a type of motion in which an object moves in a circular path, underline that, around a fixed point. From that definition, what are the triune components of circular motion? Number 1, object, very constant. Number 2, movement. What kind of movement? Fixed circular point. Number 3, distance, the length in space, constant. Examples include a Ferris wheel rotating around its center, the earth revolving around the sun, a satellite orbiting a planet, a spinning top rotating around its axis, a merry-go-round spinning in a playground. These are examples of circular motion. Number 3, rotational motion. Rotational motion is a type of motion in which an object spins or rotates around its axis. Understand that all points in the body move in a concentric circles. The center of these circles all lie on a line called the axis of rotation. What are the triune components of rotational motion? Number 1, objects, of course, very constant in physics. Number 2, movement. What kind of movement? They spins or rotates around their axis, around a fixed point. Then number 3, distance, the length in space, always constant. Examples include a spinning top, the wheels of a moving bicycle, a spinning rotor blade of a helicopter, the earth rotating on its axis. Take note of that, a spinning propeller of a boat. So when the earth rotates around its axis, it is called rotational motion. But when the earth rotates around the sun, it is called circular motion. Please take note of that. Number 4, oscillatory or vibratory motion. Oscillatory motion is a type of motion in which an object moves back and forth, underline that, around a central point. What are the triune components? The object, constant. Number 2, movement. What kind of movement? To and fro movement, reversing its direction of motion and returning regularly. You can also call that periodic kind of motion because it repeats itself at regular time interval. Then number 3, we have the distance, which is the length, which is constant in motion. So examples include a swinging pendulum, a rocking chair, a vibrating guitar string, a child on a swing, a turning fork vibrating. Number 5, now the random motion. Random motion is a type of motion in which an object moves in an irregularly, number 1, haphazardly, number 2, disorderly, number 3, unpredictable, number 4, an erratic manner, number 5, without a preferred direction. So the particles, especially when it comes to gases now, collide with one another and with the walls of their containers. When it comes to fluids, if they are kept in containers. What are the triune components of random motion? Number 1, we have the objects, of course, can be in the state of liquid or gas most of the time. And then number 2, movement, unpredictable and erratic manner. That's the kind of movement here, disorderly movement. And number 3, the distance here is the container itself or can be an empty space. Examples include the Brownian motion of particles in a gas or liquid, which is fluid, the movement of molecules in a liquid, the motion of dust particle in the air, the flight pattern of a bee, the movement of a fallen leaf on a windy day. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today's video on Introduction to Motion. Let's quickly recap what we've learned with the following triune points. Number 1, motion is a change in position of an object over time. Take note of length, mass, and time. There are 4 main types of motion, which is translational motion, rotational motion, oscillatory motion, and circular motion, which becomes lock. Each type of motion has its unique characteristics. So remembering or understanding motion is crucial in physics as it helps us describe and predict the behavior of objects in our universe. So physics is life. Thanks for watching. If you have any question or need clarification on any concept, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more physics tutorials and explanation. In our next video, we'll explore relative motion. Stay tuned. Physics is all around us, and understanding motion is just the beginning of the realization that nothing containing matter is fixed without movement. Even if there are, those objects are animated to move through power and energy. No motion, no atom, no matter, no work, no energy, no power. The summary of life, which is physics, in one word, is motion. The animators strive for excellence. Keep exploring and keep learning. Connect to our social media handles at Physics Bible, the Triune Physics, for latest update. Thanks for joining us. Stay equipped, stay liquid.